1,000 pounds of muscle, a single explosive movement. In 12 milliseconds, faster than you can blink, everything changes. This is one of the deadliest kicks ever caught on camera. What you're witnessing isn't malice. It's 60 million years of evolution compressed into a devastating reflex. Welcome to insane horse attack moments, where safety and catastrophe are separated by milliseconds and inches. When people talk about insane horse attack moments, they imagine chaotic stallion fights or predator encounters. But the deadliest kicks ever caught on camera don't come from battles. They come from simple human mistakes. The most dangerous? Walking directly behind a horse. To understand why, look at how horses evolved. These prey animals developed nearly 350-degree panoramic vision. But this extraordinary sight creates two critical blind zones: 4 to 6 feet directly in front of the muzzle and completely behind the tail. For millions of years, predators exploited these weaknesses. The horse's answer? Lightning-fast defensive strikes. Kick first, figure it out later. These insane horse attack moments aren't cruelty. They're pure reflex programmed by evolution. When a stimulus enters the rear blind zone, the horse's nervous system activates a dual pathway defense cascade. The low-road pathway bypasses conscious processing entirely. From the thalamus, signals reach the amygdala in 12 milliseconds. That's 3 times faster than a human blink. Before you register movement. Before you react. Before thought begins. Meanwhile, the high-road pathway processes through the sensory cortex, requiring 280 to 410 milliseconds. By the time your brain thinks about what's happening, the kick is already launched. The hoof is airborne. Contact is inevitable. The raw physics transform these moments into life-threatening events. The power source is the hindquarters. 3 primary muscle groups working in devastating coordination. The gluteus medius, largest muscle in the horse's body, extends the hip with explosive force. The hamstring group drives the hock joint with ballistic acceleration. The gastrocnemius propels ground reaction forces during propulsion. The hind leg structure creates what biomechanists call a natural catapult effect. When preparing to kick, hamstrings and gluteal muscles undergo eccentric loading, storing elastic energy like a compressed spring. Upon rapid contraction, this stored energy explosively extends through the hock and hip to one small impact surface: the hoof. A hoof measuring only 2 to 4 inches. All that force concentrated into a surface smaller than your smartphone. Horses generate forces exceeding 1,000 newtons in a single strike. This translates to high pressure capable of fracturing ribs, rupturing organs, and inflicting life-threatening injuries. The velocity exceeds human reflexive dodge capabilities. Once a horse commits to kick, evasion is nearly impossible. The deadliest kicks share common environmental factors. Confined spaces with escape blockade are extremely dangerous. When horses perceive spatial restraint while experiencing threat, unfamiliar handlers, pain, novel stimuli, the neural circuit prioritizes fight or flight. Stalls, trailers, cross ties, and narrow wash bays are extreme risk contexts. At high arousal thresholds, horses lose nuanced behavioral discrimination and default to full-force defensive strikes. This isn't calculated violence. This is neurobiological survival programming. Seemingly unprovoked aggression almost always reflects pain, not temperament. Horses with acute or chronic pain, foot abscesses, dental disease, ulcers, lameness, exhibit aggression as primary defense. Studies show horses with severe vertebral problems display aggressive responses in 77% of cases versus 56% in unaffected horses. This represents defensive pain protection, not malevolent intent. Unprovoked strikes usually indicate pain. Handlers must pursue veterinary intervention rather than punishment, which escalates defensive arousal. The amygdala's low-road processing activates motor programs in 12 milliseconds, before conscious thought. Horses genuinely can't decide whether to kick. The response is reflexive. Approaching from blind spots, sudden movement, or unanticipated stimuli, rustling, sharp sounds, rapid shadows, activate immediate full-force defensive strikes. These strikes are often misdirected at the startle source rather than deliberate responses. This is why experienced handlers announce their presence audibly, speak in low-pitched, rhythmic tones, and maintain continuous communication. Once that 12-millisecond cascade initiates, there's no stopping it. Here's the fundamental truth. Horses don't plan violence. They don't harbor malice. They don't scheme revenge. Equine behavioral science distinguishes defensive agonism from aggressive malice. Defensive agonism is a last resort response when escape is prevented. Horses display progressive warnings, tail lashing, stamping, pinned ears, body tension, escalating only if threats advance. Defensive responses aren't malicious. They're neurobiological survival programs encoded by 60 million years of evolution. Horses lack the brain architecture supporting premeditated harm or revenge fantasy. Horses exhibiting pinned ears, tail swishing, stiff posture, elevated head carriage, dilated nostrils, rapid breathing, or weight shifting toward hindquarters are in escalating threat response states. These behavioral warnings correspond to increasing neural activation. Approaching blind zones or striking range during these states incurs substantial injury risk. The horse is telegraphing its internal state. Ignoring these warnings accounts for many insane horse attack moments caught on camera. Horses that previously used aggression to escape aversive stimuli become progressively primed to employ aggression at lower thresholds. The sight of a halter, lead rope, or handler approach can trigger anticipatory arousal. These horses require systematic desensitization, not punishment. Punishment reinforces that threats are real and justifies aggressive defense, perpetuating the cycle. Stallions exhibiting sexual or dominance aggression and mares protecting foals display heightened aggressive thresholds due to reproductive hormones and maternal instincts. These contexts are high risk. Appropriate management includes spatial separation, handling during lower arousal periods, and recognizing such aggression as contextually appropriate equine behavior, not pathological. These moments reflect biologically programmed reproductive and protective behaviors. Horses with poor proprioceptive feedback exhibit increased injury risk through postural control failures. Horses confined to stalls, restricted in movement, or experiencing chronic stress demonstrate elevated proprioceptive deficits and heightened anxiety. These deficits increase defensive reactivity. Horses cannot accurately sense their environment or body position, leading to exaggerated startle responses. Stay alert. Communicate through touch, voice, posture. Position yourself in the safe zone. You won't become another statistic in the deadliest kicks ever caught on camera. Because in the world of horses, what looks like an insane attack moment is really just nature defending itself. The question is, are you paying attention?